Listen closely, because the moment you found this message, your entire field shifted. This is not an accident, and it is not random. You are here because something deep within you has already awakened, calling you forward into a transformation you can no longer delay. Right now, you are standing at the threshold of a quantum upgrade, one that reshapes your energy, your destiny, and even the timeline you walk upon. If you felt the tremors in your body, the whispers in your intuition, or the signs that follow you everywhere, know this: the upgrade has begun, and you must not skip this. The very sensations you've been feeling, the ones you might have brushed aside or labeled as coincidence, are not accidents. They are signals, whispers from the quantum fabric of your being, proof that something vast is already moving inside you. Perhaps you've noticed the tingling across your skin, a sudden rush of warmth without explanation, or waves of emotion that rise up and fall away as quickly as they come. Maybe you've seen repeating numbers, heard songs at the exact moment they mirrored your thoughts, or felt that uncanny sensation that reality itself is leaning closer, paying attention to you. None of this is random. None of this is ordinary. These are the very fingerprints of your upgrade announcing itself, softly yet insistently, making itself known. What you feel is your system aligning with frequencies it once only brushed against in dream. Your cells are remembering a vibration they have always known, but forgot beneath the weight of ordinary time. This remembrance comes as a shiver, a spark, a sudden recognition that cannot be put into words. It comes as a resonance in the heart, a pull in the chest, a buzzing in the mind that refuses to be silenced. You may have thought it was anxiety, or fatigue, or the chaos of modern life, but listen carefully, it is none of these things. What you are sensing is the undeniable signal that you have entered a different bandwidth of being. And yet this is the paradox. The upgrade began long before you felt it. It started in the unseen, in places you cannot measure with science or capture with reason. The feelings you notice now are not the beginning, but the evidence, the afterglow of a transformation that has already been set in motion. You are not waiting for something to arrive. You are awakening to something that is already here. This is why the sensations feel both new and strangely familiar. They are reminders that the deeper layers of you have been preparing all along. There will be moments when you doubt this, when the sensations feel too subtle or inconsistent, but even in their quietest form, they are real. The trembling in your body is the vibration of your old structures loosening. The flashes of intuition are not imagination but openings in your awareness, where light pours in. The waves of sudden emotion are not instability. They are currents of energy washing through you, clearing what no longer belongs. Do not judge them. Do not suppress them. Instead, let them speak, because each one is a code. Each one is a message that confirms, yes, the upgrade is happening. You may notice your relationship to time bending. Minutes might stretch endlessly, or whole days may vanish in a blur. This too is part of the signal. Your consciousness is no longer anchored to linear rhythm alone. It is beginning to sync with the pulse of the quantum field, where past, present, and future fold into one eternal now. That dizziness, that strange sense of déjà vu, that feeling of standing in two realities at once, those are not malfunctions, they are confirmations. They mean you are beginning to perceive reality, not as a flat line, but as a living, breathing field of possibility. And in that field you are becoming luminous. Even if you cannot see it with your eyes, others will sense it in your presence. Some will feel calmer around you, drawn without knowing. Others may feel uncomfortable, even resistant, because your shift reveals what they have not yet chosen to face. Do not be alarmed by this. It is not your task to manage how others respond to your frequency. Simply know that the signal you carry will ripple outward, and in doing so it will reveal truth everywhere it touches. There may be nights when you wake at strange hours, unable to explain why. 3 a.m. These are the windows where the veil is thinnest, where your system calibrates with the higher currents of consciousness. You are not waking by accident. Your body knows what it is doing. It rises to meet the frequencies pouring in. If you listen in those hours, you may feel your mind expand beyond its usual walls, your heart opening in ways you cannot put into language. The stillness of the night amplifies the signal, and you are being invited to notice it, to trust it, to recognize that your very biology is adapting to hold more light. At times, this upgrade may feel like pressure in the head, buzzing in the ears, a heaviness in the chest. These too are signals, not warnings. They are your nervous system rewiring, your energy field stretching, your vessel adjusting to contain more than it ever has. If you resist, it may feel uncomfortable, but if you surrender, if you breathe into it, you will discover that what seemed like pressure is actually expansion. It is your soul rearranging the architecture of your human self so it can express more fully through you. There will also be the emotional current, sudden tears, laughter for no reason, a deep longing that seems to arise from nowhere. These are not breakdowns, they are breakthroughs. They are the language of your heart learning to speak directly to you again. For so long you may have muted this voice, convincing yourself that logic alone could guide you. But now the heart is louder. It is insistent. It is saying you are safe to feel. You are safe to open. You are safe to remember who you are. This flood of emotion is the river of your soul reclaiming its rightful space in your daily life. The synchronicities will intensify. Numbers, patterns, encounters, all orchestrated with a precision that no rational mind could arrange. They appear because you are in resonance with the quantum field itself. You are becoming conscious of the dance that has always been happening beneath the surface. Pay attention to these alignments, not as superstitions, but as confirmation. They are breadcrumbs left along the path, reminding you that you are not wandering blindly. You are being guided with exquisite care. And here is what feels like discomfort, confusion, or even restlessness at this moment is not evidence that something is wrong. It is the natural sign that the old shell of you is cracking apart. You may not see it fully yet, but the parts of your identity that were built for survival rather than expansion are dissolving. Think of a seed buried deep within the soil. From the outside, it may look as if nothing is happening, but within, the shell is splitting, breaking open, falling away. To the seed, this breaking might feel like destruction, but in truth, it is the very beginning of life reaching for light. So too with you. What feels like breaking is actually the birthing of your higher self through the fragments of the past. There is a strange paradox here. The very patterns that once kept you safe now feel suffocating. Habits you relied on may suddenly feel heavy. Beliefs that once brought comfort may feel hollow, and roles you once wore like a second skin may now feel unbearably tight. It can be confusing to discover that what once sustained you is now the very thing you cannot carry forward. But this is how the quantum upgrade unfolds. It refuses to allow you to remain in the old architecture, because that structure simply cannot contain the frequency you now hold. You are expanding, and expansion always cracks what was once solid. This is why restlessness arises. This is why you feel pulled in two directions at once. One part of you longs to cling to the familiar, to the predictable, the safe, the known, while another part of you is already surging ahead, hungry for something new, something vast, something unnameable. This inner tension is not a mistake. It is the tearing sound of timelines separating. The old one wants to keep you, the new one is calling you, and you are stretched between them like a bridge. It can feel exhausting, even disorienting, but it is sacred work. You are living the transition in real time, and every tremor in your heart is proof that you are crossing the threshold. Often this process is accompanied by loss. People may drift away, circumstances may unravel, the things you thought were permanent may suddenly dissolve, leaving you bewildered. But understand this. Nothing that leaves you during an upgrade is meant to stay. The shell does not accompany the seed into the sunlight. It falls away, doing its job of protection, and then disappears. In the same way, those who cannot meet you at your new frequency may simply fade, not out of malice, but because resonance no longer binds you. It is not rejection. It is alignment. The field is making space for what truly belongs to your becoming. And yes, it can feel chaotic. It can feel as though your world is breaking, as though your foundation is unstable, as though you are being stripped back. But chaos is the midwife of transformation. The very disorder you resist is the fertile ground where your highest self plants its roots. Trust this chaos. Let it shake loose the debris. Let it dismantle what was only ever scaffolding, so the true architecture of your soul can emerge, brilliant and unshakable. Notice the sensations that come with this. Sometimes the breaking feels like heaviness in the chest, sometimes like a fog in the mind, sometimes like tension in the body that no rest seems to heal. You may interpret these as signs of weakness, but they are not. They are signs of recalibration. Your nervous system is releasing old imprints. Your mind is letting go of rigid patterns. Your body is unwinding from survival postures. The discomfort is the signal of renewal in motion. What you feel as pressure is actually expansion. What you feel as emptiness is actually spaciousness. What you feel as confusion is the dissolving of old maps to make way for new landscapes. There may be days when you crave solitude, when being around others feels overwhelming. Honor this. The seed breaks in silence, not in the noise of the crowd. Your cocooning is not withdrawal. It is preparation. You are incubating light, and the process requires stillness. Trust the instinct to step back. Trust the impulse to be alone with your own unfolding. For in those moments of solitude, the new self is whispering, rising, weaving itself into form, and then there will be moments of sudden clarity, flashes of recognition that feel like lightning across your consciousness. These moments may come without warning, while you are walking or eating or staring into the sky. In those moments, the old shell shatters a little more, and you glimpse the brilliance of what lies beyond. These glimpses are gifts, anchors of hope, reminders that you are not falling apart but falling into place. You might notice too that your desires are shifting. What once excited you may now feel flat. What once seemed impossible may now feel inevitable. The old hunger fades, replaced by a deeper longing you cannot yet name. This longing is not to be feared. It is the compass of your soul, pointing you toward your authentic expansion. The things you no longer crave were never yours to begin with. They were echoes of conditioning, borrowed dreams, inherited expectations. The upgrade strips them away so that only your true resonance remains. And here is the paradox again. Even as you feel stripped, you are being adorned. Even as you feel emptied, you are being filled. Even as you feel broken, you are being made whole. The shell falls apart so the living essence can emerge. You are not losing yourself. You are losing the false layers that kept your real self hidden. You are not being diminished. You are being revealed. So do not resist the cracking. Do not mourn the shell. Instead, bless it. Thank it for carrying you this far. Thank the patterns for their service. Even as you release them, gratitude softens the breaking and makes space for the new to flow in. When you bless the old even as it dissolves, you anchor yourself in grace, and grace is the current that carries you safely through the chaos. Remember this: no seed ever regrets the breaking of its shell. No butterfly mourns the cocoon that dissolves. What falls away is never the essence. It is only the container, and what is emerging in you now is beyond what the old container could have held. The self that is coming alive in you is vast, radiant, sovereign, connected to the quantum field in ways the old identity could not imagine. This breaking is not the end. It is the sacred beginning, and though you may feel fragile in this process, you are not fragile, you are powerful. The very fact that you feel the breaking means you are alive to the truth of your transformation. The very fact that you are aware of the restlessness means you are already beyond the old. The very fact that you are still listening, still here, still present, means you have already chosen the upgrade, even if you don't yet understand how it will unfold. So breathe, allow, trust. What feels like the end is the birth. What feels like loss is the gift. What feels like chaos is the alignment. Your old shell is cracking, yes, but only so your brilliance can finally emerge into the light it was always meant to be. Every thought, every feeling you carry right now is no longer small, no longer silent, no longer confined to the private chambers of your inner world. The field around you has shifted into heightened responsiveness, and what once took months or years to ripple outward is now echoing back almost instantly. You may have noticed this already, how a single thought seems to summon a confirmation, how a fleeting desire called something toward you, how even your fears and doubts appear as reflections in the circumstances of your day. This is not a trick of coincidence, nor is it imagination. It is the natural result of your system vibrating at a frequency where the quantum field listens with exquisite sensitivity. You are speaking, and the universe is answering at the speed of resonance. It may feel overwhelming at first, as if the world is too close, too eager, too aware of you. But consider this: it is not that the world has changed. It is that you are finally perceiving the intimacy that was always there. Reality was never separate from you. It was never indifferent. It has always been a mirror, a partner, but now the veil that dulled your awareness is thinning, and you are realizing the truth. You are not walking through life. Life is unfolding itself through you. The thoughts that rise in your mind are not contained inside you. They are currents flowing into the wider field, carrying codes that reality responds to like a lover, recognizing a familiar song. And so you will notice the paradox. Nothing is more effortless than this, and yet nothing feels more demanding of responsibility. When every whisper of thought and every pulse of feeling is met with a reflection, you are called to become deliberate, conscious, intentional. You cannot wander through the corridors of your mind the way you once did, filling it with fear, replaying stories of lack, speaking words of limitation without consequence. For now, the consequence arrives swiftly, often before you realize you summoned it. This is not punishment. It is feedback. It is the field training you in mastery. It is life showing you the incredible creative power you have always carried but could not yet wield. And yes, there will be moments when your thoughts manifest in ways that surprise you, even unsettle you. You may notice shadows appearing, doubts taking form, worries finding their way into circumstances. Do not panic. Do not blame yourself. This too is the feedback, the proof that nothing is wasted. Even the patterns you would rather not see are evidence that the field is alive to you, responding with precision. Take this not as failure but as instruction. Each reflection teaches you where your energy is flowing, and with awareness you can redirect it, refine it, elevate it. The quickness of manifestation is not a curse. It is a gift, because it allows you to correct your course in real time. There will also be moments of awe. You will think of someone and they will call. You will imagine a path and a door will open. You will send your longing into the silence, and the answer will arrive in a form you could not have orchestrated. These synchronicities are not random. They are proof that you are vibrating in coherence with the field. They are the universe nodding in recognition, saying, "I hear you, I see you. We are creating together." This is the intimacy you came here to remember, the sacred partnership between your consciousness and the fabric of reality. You may ask, how can this be? How can my private thoughts have such power? But consider that what you call private has never been isolated. Every thought is vibration, every emotion a frequency. When your system was denser, these signals were faint, easily lost in the noise. But now, in your upgrade, the volume is turned up. Your signal is stronger, clearer, more coherent. The field cannot help but respond. It does not judge. It does not delay. It simply mirrors what is sent. The generosity of the universe is such that it amplifies whatever you broadcast, without condition. This is why you may feel as though life is accelerating, as though events are cascading one upon another without pause. What you are experiencing is not chaos, but coherence at high speed. Your inner world and outer world are aligning so closely that the gap between them shrinks. What you feel inside becomes what you see outside, and it happens quickly. This is the rhythm of the new frequency, the tempo of your upgrade. It is not meant to overwhelm you. It is meant to remind you that you are no longer a passive participant in your story. You are the storyteller, and the narrative responds to your pen with immediacy. But here is the paradox again. Though the field responds to you, it is also guiding you. The reflections are not only creations, they are conversations. The universe is not only your mirror, but your teacher. Sometimes it will respond in ways that seem contrary to your desires, not to deny you, but to show you what you truly hold beneath the surface. If you long for abundance but receive scarcity, it is not rejection. It is revelation. It reveals the hidden beliefs you still carry, the silent frequencies still pulsing within you. This is the grace of the upgrade. Nothing remains hidden. The field makes all frequencies visible, so you may refine them into alignment with what you truly wish to live. You will notice too that intention carries more weight than effort. The old way taught you that action alone moved the world, that struggle created results, that force was necessary for change. But in this new frequency, intention precedes action, and resonance precedes outcome. A single clear intention, born from coherence of heart and mind, now achieves what endless striving could not. This is why you may feel pulled to act less, to push less, to force less. The field is teaching you that alignment is more powerful than effort, that resonance is more powerful than resistance. What once required months of labor may now arrive in a whisper of synchronicity, simply because you held the right frequency with clarity. This is not permission to abandon action, but it is a call to sacred action, action that arises from alignment, not desperation. When you move from alignment, the field rushes to meet you, weaving circumstances, opportunities and support into your path. The work feels lighter, the doors open more easily, the journey feels guided rather than forced. You are no longer meant to fight your way forward. You are meant to flow with the current that rises to meet your true signal. And so I tell you, notice the pull within you, that subtle but undeniable current that seems to be drawing you toward people, places, and possibilities you never expected. At first, it may feel like curiosity, like a sudden attraction to something you cannot explain. You might find yourself magnetized to new conversations, new teachings or encounters that feel strangely fated. You may catch yourself standing at a crossroads with no clear reason why, and yet a part of you knows, this is not random, this is not accident, this is destiny moving through you, like a tide that cannot be resisted. That inner pull you feel is not weakness, not confusion, it is alignment. It is your higher timeline tugging at you, beckoning you into a future your mind cannot yet imagine but your soul already remembers. It is tempting, when you feel this pull, to question it, to second guess, to demand evidence before you take the step. And yet the evidence never comes before the leap. It only appears after. The paradox of destiny is that it never reveals itself through certainty. It reveals itself through resonance. You recognize it not with the logical mind, but with the body, the heart, the subtle tremor of recognition that whispers, yes, this is for you, even when it makes no sense, even when it defies reason, even when it seems impractical. The resonance is unmistakable. You can ignore it for a time, but it will not leave you. It will circle back again and again, until you surrender to the truth of it. Perhaps you have already felt this through the people entering your life. Someone new appears, and it feels as though you have known them forever. Conversations unfold with uncanny ease. Doors open through them that you did not even know exist. These meetings are not coincidences. They are alignments, orchestrations of the field to guide you forward. You will notice that some connections deepen instantly, while others fade quickly. Do not mourn the fading. The ones who remain are those who belong to the frequency you are now embodying. They are not here to distract you. They are here to activate you. They are mirrors of the self you are becoming, reminders of the light you are stepping into. Destiny also speaks through the longings you cannot silence, the quiet dreams that keep returning, the visions that haunt you at the edges of sleep, the ideas that stir your heart every time they resurface. These are not fantasies, they are memory leaking through from the timeline that is calling you. The reason they persist is because they are coded into your highest path. They will not go away, no matter how much you try to dismiss them, because they are not optional. They are invitation. They are signals from the future self that already exists, already lives, already breathes, waiting for you to catch up. And yet there is paradox here too, for even as you are pulled forward, you will encounter resistance within yourself. You may feel fear, hesitation, doubt. Part of you clings to the comfort of the known, the safety of the familiar, the stability of the path you have already walked. This resistance is not proof that you are wrong. It is proof that you are on the threshold. The fear does not mean stop. It means step carefully, step consciously, step with awareness. Every great unfolding is preceded by the trembling of the old self that knows its time is ending. The resistance you feel is the last cry of the version of you that cannot make the journey ahead. This pull of destiny is not something you chase. It is something you allow. You do not force it. You do not wrestle with it. You do not try to control its timing. You surrender into it like a river carrying you downstream. The more you fight, the more exhausted you will feel. The more you trust, the more gracefully you will move. This is not passivity. It is participation in the deepest way. To follow the pull is not to abandon responsibility, but to align with the responsibility that was yours all along, to live the life your soul came here to live. And the beauty of this path is that it reveals itself, step by step. You do not need to know the whole journey. In fact, you cannot. If the full vision were shown to you now, it would overwhelm the mind, collapse the nervous system, send you running back to the shell you just broke free from. Instead, destiny whispers in increments, showing you only what you are ready to hold. A single meeting, a single inspiration, a single opportunity that is enough to move you. And when you take that step, the next one appears, like a staircase hidden in the mist. Each step becomes visible only as you place your foot upon it. Do not mistake the slowness for stagnation. Even when nothing seems to be happening, the pull is working within you, reshaping your desires, dissolving your attachments, sharpening your clarity. The pauses are part of the orchestration. They allow your system to recalibrate before the next wave carries you forward. If you could see the weaving of synchronicities happening behind the curtain, you would marvel at how intricately life is preparing you. Trust that the stillness is not silence. It is gestation. Trust that the delay is not denial. It is alignment in progress. You will know you are following destiny when your heart feels both terrified and exhilarated, when your steps feel both impossible and inevitable, when your body whispers yes, even as your mind protests. That paradox is the signature of truth. When you feel it, lean in. When you sense it, do not run. This is the path that leads not only to transformation but to remembrance, because destiny is not about becoming something new. It is about becoming who you have always been beneath the forget. The pull you feel is not dragging you somewhere foreign. It is guiding you home. And so allow yourself to trust the magnetic current, even when it defies logic. Allow yourself to step toward the people and opportunities that shimmer with recognition, even when you cannot explain why. Allow yourself to release the ones that fall away, without bitterness or grasping, knowing they have played their part. Allow yourself to honor the longing within you, even when it feels too big, too bold, too much. The longing is proof that your soul is awake. The pull is proof that your timeline is unfolding. The resonance is proof that your upgrade is real. One day, when you look back, you will see that every step made sense. The seeming accidents, the sudden endings, the impossible beginnings, all of them were threads in a tapestry far more intricate than your mind could weave. The pull of destiny was the needle, guiding each thread into place, stitching your life in. Upgrades never arrive without tests, and you may already feel this truth pressing against the edges of your life. The universe, in its infinite intelligence, will always place before you the very situations that reveal whether you are ready to embody the frequency you now carry. These are not punishments, nor are they cruel tricks. They are mirrors designed with precision. They show you where you still cling to the old, where you still doubt, where you still fear. And though they may appear as obstacles, they are actually confirmations. They mean the field has recognized your expansion and is aligning you with the strength you will need to hold it. You might notice that things you thought were secure are shifting. Jobs, relationships, identities. What once felt stable may suddenly feel uncertain. The old supports begin to wobble, not because you are being abandoned, but because your reliance on them must be transformed. The test comes in the moment you realize that what held you before can no longer carry you forward. Will you collapse in fear, or will you step into trust? This is the essence of the test, to discover where your foundation truly lies. For in truth, no external structure was ever your safety. The only safety that endures is the trust you cultivate in the infinite intelligence of life and in the vastness of your own being. At times these tests may appear as loss. Something is taken away, and the mind cries out, "Why? Why now? When I am trying to grow, when I am reaching for more." But listen closely. The timing is not cruelty, it is precision. The very moment you step into new frequency, the universe clears the space that must be cleared. The loss is not punishment, it is preparation. Something within you must be proven, strengthened, stretched. Without the clearing, you would carry old baggage into a new timeline, and it would distort the very upgrade you have called in. The test removes what you do not need, so that what you do need may arrive unobstructed. And there is paradox here, for the tests will often arrive disguised as the exact opposite of what you asked for. You pray for abundance, and suddenly the bills pile higher. You ask for love, and suddenly the old loneliness returns. You call for freedom, and suddenly responsibilities weigh heavier than ever. Do not be deceived. This is not failure, nor is it rejection. It is the universe showing you the final remnants of the old frequency, asking, will you still trust when appearances contradict your desire? Will you still hold the vibration of abundance when scarcity knocks? Will you still believe in love when loneliness echoes louder? Will you still choose freedom in the midst of responsibility? These are the moments that sculpt you. These are the questions that refine you into the one who can hold the answer you seek. And yet, as you move through these tests, remember that you are not alone. Life does not place you in the fire to watch you burn. It places you there so that the gold within you can be revealed. The intensity is not meant to destroy you, but to melt away what is false. Each trial, each challenge, each wave of doubt is shaping you into coherence, alignment, integrity. You are being tempered, like steel in the forge, like clay in the kiln, like light pressed through the prism, until it emerges as spectrum. What feels like trial is transformation. What feels like breaking is shaping. What feels like resistance is refinement. You may feel anger, frustration, even betrayal as the tests unfold. This too is part of the process, for the anger burns away complacency. The frustration cracks the shell of limitation. The betrayal forces you inward to discover that the only source you can truly rely on is already within you. These emotions are not enemies, they are catalysts, each one shaking loose another fragment of the old self. Let them rise, let them move, let them pass. Do not cling to them, but do not deny them either. In their passing you are purified. And so the test of trust is not about passing or failing in the way the mind imagines. It is about revealing what has always been inside you. Each time you lean into trust rather than collapse into fear, you anchor the upgrade more deeply into your body, your field, your life. Each time you choose to believe in possibility rather than limitation, you strengthen the resonance of your highest timeline. The test is not about proving something to the universe. It is about proving it to yourself. The universe already knows you are capable. It is you who must discover it. There will be moments when it feels like you cannot go further, when the weight seems too much. But remember, the test is never designed to break you. It is designed to show you the power you did not realize you carry. The very moment you think you cannot take another step is often the moment just before breakthrough, the moment just before the shell gives way, the moment just before light pours through. Do not give up in those moments. Breathe, hold steady, trust the process. What feels unbearable is often the threshold of revelation, and then suddenly the shift comes, the weight lifts, the clarity arrives, the path opens. You look back and realize that what once felt like punishment was actually precision, that what once felt like abandonment was actually protection, that what once felt like breaking was actually the making of you. The paradox reveals itself. The very thing you feared was the very thing that set you free. The test was never a barrier. It was the bridge. So when the tests arrive, as they surely will, welcome them as initiations. See them not as interruptions to your upgrade, but as integral parts of it. Each one is a sacred teacher disguised as challenge. Each one is a doorway to deeper trust. Each one is a sign that you are ready to hold more, to embody more, to become more. If you can shift your perception, If you can meet the test with openness rather than resistance, you will find that they accelerate your growth rather than delay it. You are not being tested to prove your worth. You are being tested to awaken to it. The tests do not ask, "Are you worth?" They ask, "Are you willing to trust that you already are?" And when you can answer yes, not in words but in vibration, the field responds with coherence, with alignment, with doors opening where none existed before. So let the tests come. Let them stretch you, refine you, teach you. And when they do, remember that you are not alone in them. Every challenge is the universe's way of reminding you that you are stronger, wiser, more luminous than you ever believed. Trust yourself, trust the field, trust the process. For in truth, the test is not against you. It is for you. It is the proof that your upgrade is real, that your frequency is higher, that your destiny is already unfolding. And if you can feel this truth, even faintly, then you are already past. You may think you are walking this path alone, but you are not. The moment the upgrade began, the unseen companions of your soul stepped closer, rearranging themselves around you in silence and in secrecy. They do not always appear in forms you can recognize, yet they are there, whispering through intuition, brushing against your awareness in dreams, leaving signs along your path like breadcrumbs that only you were meant to notice. This is why numbers repeat before your eyes, why the same phrase echoes in different mouths, why songs arrive at the exact moment you need them. These are not coincidences, they are confirmation. You are guided more than you realize, protected more than you believe, accompanied more than you allow yourself to feel. The paradox is that these guides do not remove your challenges, they intensify your ability to walk through them. They do not erase the test. They magnify your capacity to endure it. They do not tell you every answer. They strengthen the part of you that must learn how to listen, how to trust, how to remember that wisdom was never outside of you. For guidance is not control. It is not a leash or a crutch. It is the soft current that nudges you in the right direction, but leaves you free to swim. It is the lantern that glows just bright enough for you to take the next step, but not so bright that you can skip the journey. And this guidance often hides itself in paradox. The signs are obvious and yet invisible. They arrive in plain sight, but only the awakened eye can recognize them. Think of how many times you have passed by the same numbers before, how many times you heard the same words but dismissed them as meaningless. Yet now something inside you stirs, and you see with different sight. What changed? Not the world, not the signs. The shift happened in you. The upgrade tuned your awareness to a finer frequency, where meaning saturates everything. What was once noise is now music. What was once random is now orchestrated. What was once mundane is now luminous with secret design. Do not think of guides only as beings with wings or ancient masters standing in invisible robes. Yes, such forms exist, but guidance also moves through the ordinary. A stranger's glance, a child's laughter, a sentence you happened to read at the exact moment your heart was breaking. These too are the hands of your unseen allies. Sometimes the guidance even wears the disguise of challenge, for not all messages arrive wrapped in comfort. Some arrive as confrontation, as loss, as disruption, and only later do you recognize that they steered you toward the exact place you needed to stand. To be guided is not always to be shielded, it is to be aligned, even when the alignment feels like break. And yet guidance is never imposed upon you. It waits for your recognition. It waits for your permission. It waits for your willingness to attune. You are not a puppet in the hands of higher beings. You are a co-creator. Your guides cannot choose for you, but they can amplify the whispers of your soul. They can make the next breadcrumb shine just a little brighter. They can orchestrate synchronicity so precise that you feel the universe itself winking at you. Their presence is not meant to control you, but to remind you that you are part of something vaster than the small story of fear. You may doubt it. You may wonder if the signs are real, or if they are projections of your wishful mind. But even in this doubt, the guidance is worth. For what is doubt but an invitation to discern, to deepen your inner knowing, to sharpen your capacity to feel truth? If every sign were undeniable, you would never cultivate trust. The ambiguity itself is part of the training. It teaches you to lean inward, to consult the compass of your heart rather than the constant noise of the mind. The paradox is that doubt itself becomes a form of guidance, pushing you back into your own center. Think of those moments when the guidance was so precise you could not deny it. The call you received at the exact minute you were thinking of someone. The dream that revealed the answer you had been searching for. The sudden pull to take a different road, only to discover it saved you from something unseen. These moments are not accidents. They are confirmations of an invisible intelligence woven through your life, guiding you with a care so subtle that you often overlook it. And yet when you slow down, when you pause and breathe, you begin to feel the pattern. The upgrade has not only expanded your frequency, it has expanded your ability to perceive the pattern, to live inside the web of synchronicity instead of stumbling blindly through. And what of those moments when the guidance seemed absent, when the silence stretched long and you felt abandoned? Understand this. Silence is guidance too. The absence of signs is its own kind of sign. Sometimes the field withdraws its whispers not because it has left you, but because it is strengthening your ability to walk without leaning too heavily. The silence teaches you that you already carry the compass. The pause teaches you to move with trust, even without constant confirmation. The space between signs is not neglect, it is empowerment. So allow yourself to soften into the awareness that you are held. You may not see the guides who walk with you, but you will feel them when you quiet yourself enough to note. They exist as presences, as frequencies, as subtle currents around you. They exist as aspects of your higher self, as ancestors whose love has not dimmed with time, as allies who vibrate beyond physical form, and they are tireless in their devotion. They do not grow impatient when you ignore them. They do not abandon you when you resist. They wait endlessly, lovingly, until the moment you are ready to notice again. And the more you notice, the more the guidance multiplies. Attention feeds the connection. Gratitude opens the channel wider. Trust makes the signs clearer. The dance is reciprocal. When you acknowledge the whispers, they amplify. When you dismiss them, they dim. Not as punishment, but as reflection. The field mirrors your openness. The guides mirror your willingness. The unseen world is not separate from you. It is woven into you. Your awareness is the doorway, and every time you open it, the flow increases. You are not meant to do this alone. You never were. The illusion of aloneness was part of the old shell, part of the old frequency that insisted separation was real. But the upgrade dissolves this illusion. It reveals what has always been true, that you are accompanied, guided, and loved beyond measure. Even in your darkest nights, you were never abandoned. Even in your deepest confusion, the path was being cleared. Even in your most painful moments, the guidance was already unfolding. So let yourself rest in this knowing. Let yourself trust the whispers, the signs, the synchronicities. Let yourself believe that the universe is conspiring with you, not against you. For the hidden guides are not outside forces. They are reflections of the intelligence you carry, the vastness of the self you are becoming. The more you feel them, the more you realize they were never separate from you. They are the chorus of your own soul, reminding you of what you already knew but had forgotten. You are never lost, you are never unsupported, and you are never walking alone. Choice is the hidden architecture of your reality, and now, more than ever, the architecture is expanding before you. In the old frequency, choices felt limited, boxed in, determined by circumstance, habit, or the heavy scripts of the past. You thought you were choosing freely, but often you were only repeating the same patterns dressed in new disguises. The upgrade changes this. It amplifies the field around you, so that every decision you make radiates outward with magnified force. The smallest turn, the slightest yes or no, becomes like a ripple moving through the quantum fabric, echoing into futures you cannot yet see. This is why you may feel the weight of decision more acutely now. It is not because the universe is punishing you, but because your power has grown too vast to ignore. And yet here lies the paradox. The expansion of choice does not make life heavier, it makes it freer. Where once you believed you were confined, you now realize you were always surrounded by infinite doors. The difference is that now the doors are visible, shimmering at the edges of your awareness, inviting you to walk through. But the invitation is not neutral. It carries the vibration of responsibility. When the field is this responsive, you cannot drift asleep at the wheel. You are called to become deliberate, conscious, aligned. Your choices no longer vanish into silence. They sing back to you faster and clearer than before. This is why old habits suddenly feel unbearable. That familiar decision to shrink, to settle, to betray your own truth, which once seemed tolerable, now creates a dissonance so sharp that your body reacts instantly. You feel it as heaviness in the chest, as nausea in the gut, as tension in the mind. The field no longer allows you to slip easily into unconscious repetition. It mirrors back your vibration in real time. The delay is gone. The feedback is immediate, and though this can feel disorienting, even harsh, it is actually liberation. For in this immediacy you finally see the true power you carry. Do not mistake this responsiveness for punishment. It is precision. The field has always been responsive, but now the veil between your thought and its manifestation has thinned. When you choose fear, you feel the constriction right away. When you choose love, the expansion floods you instantly. The universe is teaching you the direct mechanics of creation, not as theory but as lived experience. You are learning to feel the vibration of each choice as you make it, so that you no longer have to wait years to realize you wandered from your path. The path reveals itself moment by moment, choice by choice, vibration by vibration. And choice, in this new frequency, is not about grand gestures alone. It is about the small, quiet decisions that accumulate into destiny. The choice to breathe before reacting, the choice to honor your intuition even when logic protests, the choice to speak truth rather than hide behind comfort. These may seem like tiny acts, but in the expanded field, they reverberate endlessly. The smallest act of alignment sends ripples through timelines, collapsing some possibilities and amplifying others. You are no longer just choosing in the present. You are editing the past and sculpting the future with every moment of awareness. You may feel overwhelmed by this expansion, as if too much rests upon your shoulders. But remember, the expansion of choice is also the expansion of support. You are not choosing alone. The guides, the synchronicities, the whispers of your higher self, they all converge to assist you. When you lean into choice with trust, the field arranges itself around you, magnifying the path you have chosen. The moment you decide, unseen forces move in coherence, rearranging possibilities in your favor. The act of choosing is not just personal, it is cosmic. It sends signals through the entire network of reality, and the network responds in kind. And yet paradoxically, you cannot make a wrong choice. Even when you choose fear, even when you stumble back into old patterns, the field does not condemn you. It reflects, it teaches, it shows you what that vibration creates. Every so-called mistake becomes part of the learning, part of the refinement, part of the deepening. You are not punished for wrong choices. You are educated by them. They expand your awareness so that when you choose again, you do so with more clarity, more integrity, more alignment. The only true danger is not in choosing wrong, but in refusing to choose at all. Stagnation, hesitation, paralysis, these are the states that trap you. For the upgrade requires movement, flow, engagement. To stand still in fear is to resist the very current that is trying to carry you forward. Notice how the expansion of choice also changes your relationship to time. The old self imagined choice as linear. You pick one path, and the others vanish. But in the quantum field, every choice is alive. Every possibility exists, simultaneously, waiting for your attention to activate. When you choose consciously, you do not destroy other timelines. You simply align with the one most resonant with your vibration. The others drift into the background, not lost, but dormant. And should your vibration shift again, different timelines awake. This means that choice is not final in the way you once feared. It is fluid, dynamic, responsive. You are not locked into one future forever. You are weaving futures moment by moment, guided by the resonance of your inner state. This realization liberates you from regret. For even the choices you think of as mistakes created the lessons that expanded your capacity. They activated timelines where you gathered wisdom, compassions, strength. Now from this expanded frequency, you can integrate those lessons and step into new choices without shame. Regret dissolves when you understand that nothing was wasted, that every choice was part of the preparation for this moment. And now, with this understanding, you can choose differently, not because the past was wrong, but because the present is right. So what does this mean for you now? Standing in the expansion of choice. It means that every moment is sacred, every breath is creative, every decision, no matter how small, is the planting of a seed. And the seeds grow faster now, watered by the intensity of the upgrade. The harvest arrives quickly, sometimes shockingly so. This is why you must become deliberate, not cautious in fear, but deliberate in awareness. Ask yourself, does this choice align with the frequency I wish to embody? Does it resonate with the future I am stepping into? Does it expand or contract me? The body will always tell you the truth, for the body is the tuning fork of the soul. And when you choose in alignment, when you say yes to your highest frequency, you will feel the field respond instantly. Doors open, energy flows, synchronicities multiply. The very air seems to hum with confirmation, and you realize that you were never powerless, never at the mercy of fate. You were always the sculptor of your reality, but now the clay is softer, the tools sharper, the feedback immediate. You are creating with greater precision than ever before. So embrace the expansion of choice. Do not fear it. Do not shrink from it. Celebrate it as the gift it is, for it means that you are trusted with more power, more freedom, more responsibility. It means that the universe recognizes your readiness to step into the role of conscious co-creator. It means that the upgrade is real, alive, unfolding through you in every breath. And if you feel this, then you already know you are no longer choosing only for yourself. Each choice you make radiates outward, touching the collective, shifting the field for all. Your personal expansion becomes part of the planetary expansion. Your alignment becomes part of the awakening. This is the true magnitude of the moment. This is the invitation you cannot skip. Your quantum upgrade is not waiting for some distant day, some ceremonial threshold, some grand event that announces itself with trumpets from the sky. It is happening now, in the quiet rhythm of your breath, in the subtle shifts of your awareness, in the way your body feels heavier with old energy one moment and lighter with new clarity the next. You are living the upgrade already, whether you fully understand it or not. The temptation is to search outward for proof, to look for lightning bolts or visions that make it undeniable. Yet the real proof is softer, more intimate, woven into your daily experience in ways the logical mind might dismiss. The paradox is that the most extraordinary transformation often cloaks itself in the most ordinary sensations, and only when you lean in, when you pause to feel, do you recognize the magnitude of what is unfolding. It begins in the body, the tingling on your skin, the rushes of energy that come without warning, the waves of exhaustion followed by sudden bursts of aliveness. These are not malfunctions, they are recalibrations. Your system is adjusting to carry a frequency it was never asked to hold before. Just as a caterpillar's body dissolves before reforming into wings, so too does your nervous system rewire, your cells reorganize, your energy field expand. It may feel uncomfortable, strange, even disorienting, but this is the sensation of growth. You are not breaking down, you are breaking open, and then it continues in your perception. Suddenly the world looks different. Colors seem sharper, sounds carry hidden layers, silence feels pregnant with presence. The same street you've walked 1,000 times now shimmers with meaning. You notice patterns that were invisible before, connections that once seemed random now singing with orchestration. This is not hallucination, it is revelation. The upgrade peels away the dull film of ordinary perception and reveals the sacredness that has always been present. You are not entering a new world, you are seeing the true world at last. But perhaps the clearest sign of embodiment is in your choices. You notice yourself hesitating before acting in old ways, pausing before speaking from habit, questioning the reflexes that once ran your life. Where you once moved unconsciously, you now sense a fork in every moment, an invitation to respond differently, more aligned, more honest, more free. At first this feels heavy, almost burdensome, as if life has become too serious. But then you realize the weight is not a burden, it is power. You are no longer a passenger, you are steering. Each choice becomes a declaration of frequency, each action a brushstroke on the canvas of your reality. The upgrade is not in abstract theory, it is in these living, breathing decisions. And yet, even here the paradox continues. The upgrade is both effortless and demanding. Effortless, because it is already happening. You cannot stop it, cannot undo it, cannot fall out of it. Demanding, because it calls you to align consciously, to stop pretending you are powerless, to let go of excuses and step into coherence. You cannot escape the current, but you can resist it, and resistance is what creates pain. The moment you surrender, the moment you say yes, the moment you decide to act as if the shift is real, the current carries you with grace. Embodiment is not about forcing, it is about allowing, trusting, becoming the channel for what is already flowing. The embodiment also reveals itself in relationships. People may fall away, sometimes suddenly, sometimes quietly, as if the string that held you together has dissolved. Others may arrive out of nowhere, magnetic, familiar, as if you've known them forever. These shifts are not accidents. They are the resonance of your new frequency reshaping your connection. It can hurt when old bonds dissolve, but even the grief is sacred, for it creates space for coherence, for partnerships that nourish rather than drain, for communities that align rather than confine. You are not losing, you are being prepared to receive. And still the greatest embodiment is internal. It is in how you feel when you wake, in how you sit with yourself in silence, in how you treat your own thoughts and emotions. The old you may have battled your inner world, rejected your shadow, silenced your pain. The upgraded you recognizes that every part of you is part of the wholeness. Nothing needs to be exiled. Everything can be integrated. Your fears are no longer enemies. They are signals. Your doubts are no longer blocks. They are invitations to deeper trust. Even your resistance becomes the teacher that shows you where you are still holding back from love. Embodiment is not perfection. It is intimacy with yourself so complete that nothing is hidden, nothing is denied, nothing is left behind. The paradox is that this upgrade feels both like the greatest gift and the greatest responsibility. You feel more free than ever, yet more accountable than ever. You sense your infinite potential, yet you also know it must be stewarded with integrity. This is the maturity the upgrade calls for, the realization that you are not only here to elevate your own life, but to ripple that elevation outward into the collective. Every time you embody your upgrade, you are not only transforming yourself, you are shifting the field for everyone. Your courage becomes permission for others. Your coherence becomes medicine for the planet. Your light becomes the map for those still lost in shadow. And so the invitation is simple, yet profound. Live as if the upgrade is real. Breathe as if every breath is coded with new intelligence. Seep as if your words carry the frequency of creation. Move as if your body is the vessel of higher light. Choose as if every choice plants a seed in the garden of your destiny. For the truth is, this is not as if it is reality. You are already upgraded. You are already expanded. You are already the one you've been waiting for. The only step left is to embody it. So pause now and feel. Feel the truth vibrating in your body, the current moving through your life, the shift already unfolding. Trust what you sense, even if the mind cannot explain. Trust what you know, even if you cannot prove it. Trust what you feel, because feeling is the language of the field. This is your quantum upgrade, alive and real. And if you are here, if you are hearing this, it has already begun. The only question is, will you step fully into it? Or will you pretend you did not hear the call? And if you feel this, then don't skip it. Don't scroll past it. Don't bury it beneath distraction. Lean in, say yes. Embody the upgrade with every breath. The universe has aligned this moment precisely so that you could awaken to yourself. Take it, trust it, live it. Now, if this transmission has stirred something in you, if it has resonated even faintly with the truth already living inside you, then honor that resonance, anchor it, Claim it, share it. Let your voice ripple out into the collective, just as this message has rippled into you. Like, comment, and subscribe, not just as digital actions, but as energetic declarations that you are part of this awakening. You are not alone, and your participation matters. Together we amplify the field. Together we embody the upgrade. Together we create the timeline of highest possibility. The call has come. You have answered. Now step forward.